Well, they said it couldn't be done. They said tax cuts for working families were a pipe dream. They said that bringing manufacturing back was impossible. But here's what the establishment doesn't want you to know. There is a massive economic revolution happening right now that's about to put thousands of dollars directly back into your pocket. The Council of Economic Advisors just dropped numbers that should have every American family celebrating. But the mainstream media, they're silent. The Democrats, they're panicking. Because what's coming isn't just another government program. It's the complete transformation of how Washington treats your hard-earned money. And the details will blow your mind. Now, here's a hard truth about protecting what you built. Every 6 years, your dollar loses half its buying power. That means $100,000 savings today becomes $50,000 savings by 2031. You see it at the pump. You see it at the grocery store. You see it when you're buying toys for your kids. You see it everywhere. But there's a proven way to protect your wealth. Gold. That's why I trust Noble Gold Investments. And they make it simple to safeguard your savings with physical gold or silver. No pressure, no call centers, just honest guidance and transparent pricing. Right now, qualified accounts will get a free 10-ounce silver American flag bar. Visit nextnewsgold.com to learn more. And don't just protect your wealth, preserve its power. Now, the One Big Beautiful Bill is not just legislation. It's economic liberation. And the proof of that are in the numbers that just dropped from the Council of Economic Advisors. Now listen closely. The president's team just revealed what is really in this historic package. We're talking about a plan that supercharges the American economy while the establishment loses their minds trying to stop it. Take a look at this clip.
Senate Republicans are continuing to push this critical legislation forward. The One Big Beautiful Bill will drive growth and supercharge the American economy. The Council of Economic Advisors found that the One Big Beautiful Bill will raise take-home pay by nearly $14,000 for a year for the average family of four. The CEA also found that the One Big Beautiful Bill will increase wages as much as $11,000 for the average worker in America. The One Big Beautiful Bill expands the child tax credit and makes it permanent for more than 40 million families with children. And the bill will deliver no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and substantial tax cuts for our incredible seniors. Simply put, the One Big Beautiful Bill is a massive win for middle-class Americans. When nearly 80 million Americans sent President Trump back to this White House, they were doing so expecting these popular policies to be enacted. Republicans in Congress have a mandate to deliver. And President Trump demands they send this historic bill to his desk for signature by Independence Day, July 4th.
Excellent. Nearly $14,000 each and every American. And that's what's coming to your family. Not someday, not in theory, by Independence Day. The child tax credit becomes permanent for over 40 million families. No tax on tips. That's huge. Every hardworking server and bartender can keep what they earned. No tax on overtime. Because when you work harder, you should keep more. You should not be penalized for doing more work. No tax on Social Security. Our seniors built this country and deserve every penny of what they get. And here's what really has the swamp creatures squirming in their boots. The Trump savings account. $1,000 for every American child. Not welfare, not handouts, investment accounts that teach our kids about building wealth, not about being dependent on the government tea. Now, Secretary Turner laid out the vision, and it's revolutionary. These accounts can fund a first home, pay for college, or start a business. Watch how he connects this to the bigger picture of American prosperity. Take a look at clip 2.
The One Big Beautiful Bill is pro-family, pro-business, and pro-America. It helps Americans achieve their American dream. At HUD, we are focused on economic and community development for rural, tribal, and urban communities. Strong families are the foundation for strong communities. And the One Big Beautiful Bill includes purposeful policies to help strengthen the American family. It makes the child tax credit permanent and gives children a Trump savings account with $1,000 in it. This savings account can be used as a foundational investment to later pay for a down payment on a first house, to pay for college or start a business. The Trump Savings Account will help chart a pathway to prosperity for American families. The One Big Beautiful Bill will also expand and strengthen opportunity zones, creating more jobs, greater business investment, and more affordable home ownership opportunities for the American people. Opportunity zones have already lifted 1 million Americans out of poverty, attracted almost $90 billion in investment, doubled the number of homes in opportunity zone areas, and created more than 500,000 jobs where our country needs them most. Now we have the once-in-a-generation opportunity to continue this momentum by extending and expanding opportunity zones. The One Big Beautiful Bill will also ensure Americans who can work do so by implementing work requirements. Currently, almost 50% of households receiving HUD funding do not have a single member working. We want to empower able-bodied Americans who use HUD funding to lead a life of self-sufficiency, and that starts with restoring the dignity of work.
Opportunity zones lifted 1 million Americans out of poverty, and now we're expanding them. The old guard hates this because it proves their entire worldview wrong. For decades, they told us that government dependency was compassionate. They built a system where half of HUD recipients didn't have a single working family member. The One Big Beautiful Bill changes that equation. Work requirements restore dignity. Tax relief rewards effort. Investment accounts build generational wealth. Treasury Secretary Scott Bassent reveals something very fascinating about how this administration operates much differently than any of the other ones. And the transparency alone is terrifying to the establishment. Take a look at the clip.
The camaraderie in the cabinet's incredible.
Yeah.
When we have the cabinet meetings, we're getting a lot of business done. And think how transparent President Trump is in these meetings.
It's incredible.
The last one, if it went for 2.5 hours, all but 10 minutes was televised.
Yes.
Yeah, President Biden didn't have a cabinet meeting for 10 months.
Yeah.
If the cabinet wanted to invoke the 25th Amendment to remove him, they couldn't have because they hadn't.
2.5 hours televised. Biden didn't meet with his entire cabinet for 10 months. Of course, they were trying to avoid him because the more time they spent with him, the more they would be complicit in the fact that he was demented the whole entire time. You know, you can't invoke the 25th Amendment on someone you never see. You know, out of sight, out of mind, I guess. Not our minds. But here's where it gets really interesting. Watch what happens when Trump himself explains the bill's passage strategy. The man who wrote The Art of the Deal knows exactly how to get this done. Take a look at the clip.
Now you got to wait on it. Now you're going to need some help. All right. Hey, it's all on you now. So once you get the fire off, it's viral on the internet.
We're looking at the restoration of American pride on a level that we've never seen, that we have not seen in most of our lifetime. This is the biggest flag I've ever seen. It's something to be venerated. Rainbows up on the White House. Not trying to pander to the LGBTQ. Pure and simple American pride. This is a man who not only knows how to make a deal, but he knows how to put on a show. And this flag flying high represents more than just a symbol. It's a return for national pride, to American pride. It's a return to the stars and the stripes rather than rainbows and gay votes. It's a return to American economic dominance. Now, Senator Bernie Moreno broke it down on CNN, and even they couldn't spin it. No Medicaid cuts for the truly needy. It's insane the amount of propaganda that's on the left. You know, he's going to be putting historic investments into air traffic control, prevention of a $4 trillion tax increase, funding for border security and our military. All right, let's take a look at this clip.
Because look, here's what we're doing. We're making an historic investment in the nation's air traffic control system. We're adding a child tax credit to help middle-class Americans. We're providing these MAGA accounts, which is investing in children, American citizens. We're preventing a $4 trillion tax increase. We're funding our border, deportation, the military. We're getting rid of the debt ceiling conversation so that we're not facing the prospect of government shutdown. This bill does great things. I'm really proud of the work that the House and Senate's done. And look, it's not perfect because not everybody agrees on exactly what needs to be done, but it's a really, really great bill.
It's a really, really great bill. You know, when senators and our politicians speak so plainly, you know something real is happening. Usually we get this mealy mouth response, but this is actually, you know, this is actually happening. And while all this prosperity builds, look at what's happening to our military readiness. The Navy just met their 2025 recruiting goals 3 months early. More people are signing up than ever. 40,600 future sailors stepping up to serve. Take a look at this clip too.
Today, I'm proud to announce we've met our fiscal year 2025 recruiting goal 3 months early. 40,600 future sailors have signed up to serve in our United States Navy. This is a critical time in history. The world is more complex and more contested than it has been in decades. And our ability to respond starts with our greatest asset, our people. This milestone reflects more than numbers. It reflects the drive of our recruiters, the innovation of our team, and the courage of thousands of Americans who step forward to serve. This recruiting milestone is only the beginning because the challenges ahead are only growing. We're in a new era of warfare where the battlefield extends from seabed to space. To succeed, we must innovate, adapt, and lead boldly. As we mark 250 years of naval service, we're building towards the next 250 years. Those in uniform today are sailing forward, and the next generation is already preparing to take the watch. To our newest sailors, welcome to the fleet, and thank you. Your courage makes it all possible.
I'm quite excited about this, as we discussed at great length yesterday. Who do you want defending you in a war? A Biden's military or Trump's military? Strong economy, strong military, strong America. And meanwhile, the Democrats are in a complete meltdown mode. They have no message, no vision, no solutions. All they want to do is hate on Republicans and Trump and scream, Nazis! They're just Nazis. Completely insane. Watch this brutal admission from one of their own strategists. Take a look at the clip.
You guys are like goading Trump to shoot Americans in the street. Why is that?
Well, I think part of the problem is we don't have an agenda right now. And, you know, winning campaigns focus on the real lives of real people with effective leaders and something positive to say. And we have none of the above. I think what's so frustrating is Kamala Harris tried this playbook. She tried calling him a dictator. She threw everything she could. She did the rally at the Ellipse to try to remind people of January 6th. And voters said, and for my life, I'm worried about the economy. I'm worried about immigration. We don't want to talk about those things. The immigration rallies, I mean, the protests we had, you had some people protesting that ICE shouldn't exist. Some people protesting that he took over the National Guard. Some people protesting that we're being too rough on the bad hombres, right? But no one was proposing ideas to solve the problems that people care about. You know, you just talked about Donald Trump's thing at McDonald's. This last week, we should be having town halls with local ag workers and people in hospitality. We should be having rallies with local hospitals in rural areas. Instead, Chuck Schumer yesterday has a big press conference on abortion. Right?
Abortion? Oh, my
not
God.
that it's an unimportant issue, but it's not top of mind
but
for
it's
voters.
not really the issue. So what are...
We don't have an agenda right now. I mean, did he just say the quiet part out loud? I mean, we knew that for a long time, you know. I guess at least he's honest about that one thing. You know, while Trump delivers $14,000 to families, Democrats hold press conferences about pronouns. This is what winning looks like. Are you tired of winning yet? Personally, I'm not so tired of winning. You know, we're talking about real money in real pockets for real Americans. By July 4th, the One Big Beautiful Bill becomes law, and by next year, you see the difference in your bank account. The establishment said that Trump couldn't deliver. The media said these numbers were impossible. The Democrats said working families would suffer. Well, they were wrong about everything. Again. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. Now, here's the controversial question of this segment. Should able-bodied Americans on government assistance be required to work? Yes or no? Drop your answer in the comments below, and I'm going to get to... Oh, look at this. We've got some super chats. Thank you so much, guys. You know, while the establishment rages against prosperity, we're building a movement that cannot be stopped. You're going to want to show your support with exclusive Next News Network merch. Check out our shop linked in the description. Every purchase sends a message. America First isn't just a slogan. It is our future.